So in this video I will say the following. A lot of people wanted me to elaborate upon my opinion regarding Samael, Yaldabaoth and Demiurge. What is the relationship between Samael, Demiurge, Yaldabaoth, God, the source of all creation, and the Christian egregore? What is exactly the purpose of the adversary? All of those things will be discussed in this clip. So let me start from the beginning and say the following. New Age teachings about archons, demiurge, reptilians, shadow parasites, etc. They are completely deluded and misinformed. Those people have no idea regarding the teachings they are talking about. They also have no idea regarding the nature of the spirits they talk about. New Age is simply one big messy cultural appropriation. And when I say cultural appropriation, I don't mean that their practices, their spiritual practices, do not have any value. I mean that they practice something but they have no understanding what they are practicing, and that is a big problem which need to be addressed. So let's talk about the origin of a concept of the demiurge. The origin of a concept of the demiurge in a Western philosophy comes with Western philosopher, aka Hellenic philosopher, Plato. For anybody who studied philosophy will tell you that Plato developed philosophical theory known as the theory of ideals, in which the word of ideals predates our physical world, and everything we see in a physical world is a reflection of a world of ideas. He believed that the world was created by the idea of absolute good, which created then ideas of absolute love, absolute peace, absolute happiness, etc. And he tried to explain the absence of those ideas and the absence of those virtues in a physical world by proposing that there is a false creator who is not from idea of good. Actually, who is from idea of good, but Plato theorized the following. As idea of good creates, each creation from the idea of good is less perfect than the previous one. And so Plato theorized that this world is created by the most imperfect creation of idea of good, known as the demiurge. And that imperfect being known as the demiurge created a simulation of the things idea of good created. And that simulation is technically our world. So that's what Plato taught, and that's what Plato theorized about the demiurge. Later on, the Gnostics came, and Gnostics theorized that the planets, aka the celestial bodies, are the servants of the demiurge. So they attributed each of the planets to some deity they disliked, and they called those planets and those deities archons, aka the servants of the demiurge. So among the lists of the archons are spirits such as Hecate, or Mercury, or Aries, or you name it. The interesting thing is nobody mentions those original Gnostics lists of archons, right? And nobody mentions that according to original Gnostic teaching, Hecate is an archon, right? For example. Now, we all know as modern occult practitioners that Hecate is not some transcendental evil being and she is not some archon and some evil creature, right? Which kinda debunks Gnosticism. And I also need to elaborate that according to Gnosticism, Samael is Yaldabaoth. Samael is a Demiurge. And according to my personal experience, Samael is Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth is more ancient and powerful name of Samael. So everybody here who works with Samael works with Yaldabaoth. They are one and the same being. There is absolutely no difference between the two. So where this leaves us, right? Where this leaves an entire debate about how Christian religion worships the Demiurge and how, all of those satanic magicians are against the tyranny of the Demiurge, liberating the world. First and foremost, let's be clear regarding my opinion on the matter. Samael, aka Yaldabaoth, is indeed one of the main beings which run this simulation we know as our world, as our realm. But it doesn't make him evil. Simulation we live in, the world we live in, the ignorance perception we live in is not a bad thing. We are led here to learn and study. There are obstacles embedded in this world. And the purpose of those obstacles is to serve as a training ground for spiritual evolution study of enlightenment of all creatures, not just humans. So this world being a harsh place is what this world should be. This world should be harsh and this world should be difficult. And we should be grateful for the Creator, for the source of all creation. We should be grateful to Him for all of the adversities He gave us. And we should also be grateful to the Demiurge for arranging this world so that we can evolve and study within this world and be spiritually enlightened within it. So presenting the creator of this world, aka the Demiurge, as some evil figure just because you don't have the balls to confront the difficulties within this reality is really narcissistic and really bad. Samael is not evil. Yaldabaoth is not evil. He is simply doing his job. His job is to run this simulation along some other really powerful spirits, and that's exactly what he's doing. And we shouldn't try to judge him or try to hate him for doing his job. So, where this leaves the God of the Old Testament? Who is the God of the Old Testament? If Samael is the Demiurge, if Samael is Yaldabaoth. Well, this is a topic for another video. I don't know, am I publicly allowed to film that other video? But for the end of this one, I will talk about my experience with Samael, aka Yaldabaoth. So it is really celestial, really powerful energy, which helps us to understand the world in a better way. It helps us to understand how this reality operates. And it also helps us how to find our place within this world and what is our purpose within it. Yaldabaoth can teach all forms of sorcery and magic. He can teach all forms of understanding of human nature. He can also teach the understanding of the human body and how to make oneself physically strong and powerful. So he is really the being which taught me more in a short amount of time than majority of spirits in years. He can pretty much allow you to command over all chthonic, aka demonic entities. He can teach you how to work with angelic forces as well, because Samael, aka Yaldabaoth, is also an archangel. And he can teach you how to work with the Watchers, which is the separate class of the fallen angels. So he is really a spirit which can teach more than majority of other spirits. But I need to point out that he is extremely, I mean extremely, difficult to work with. If you want to work with him, I suggest developing your astral senses in full, having 2 years of experience with some other spirit guide, and then when you do that, start approaching Samael, aka Yaldabaoth. They are the same being, the same spirit, the same energy, just a different name, and the name do not make a difference. So guys, this is my stance on Demiurge, Gnosticism, Archons and shit. Now, for the end I will simply address parasitic thought forms, shadow parasites which attach to many people and people call them Archons. Well, the shadow parasites people call Archons are indeed related to Samael, and they indirectly serve Samael, in a sense that once you come into contact with the energy current of Samael, majority of the people, when they come into contact with that current, they become really mentally and physically and emotionally unstable, which then makes them vulnerable to those parasites who come and feed off them. So my advice is this: in order to protect from those parasites, you need to perform daily shielding. You need to perform daily protection rites. You need to perform daily rituals which are here to fortify your energy body. Now, there is one other thing I need to say about those egregoric parasites, those shadow parasites. There are 2 types of them. One type of those shadow parasites technically is related to the shadow people and the shadow current, and they indirectly serve Samael. But they are also connected to what is known as the shadow hive mind, the shadow consciousness. And their task is to vampirize and feed off the life force energy so that they feed their hive mind. They are really powerful in a sense that they are capable of tapping into human emotions and feeding off negative energy. But once you understand who they are and that they simply cannot produce the energy of their own, that they don't have the energy of their own, that they are really, really weak, really, really fragile, then you will be able to get rid of them quickly by reading a few exorcisms. Unfortunately, if somebody is mentally unstable, you will have a problem detaching it from them because they will constantly keep it attached to themselves, and it is a problem to save those people from those entities. But my advice is, if you have a problem with those entities but astral senses developed to a degree, the best spirits to call to get rid of them is, in my experience, Hecate. Thanks for watching and see you tomorrow.